Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
Today is Theology Thursday, and today we are here to talk to you about the Feast of Corpus Christi.
Yes.
Although, I'll be honest, I have always been confused as to why we have a feast about a city in Texas.
No. It's not about the city in Texas. It's Latin, and in the English version, it's called the Solemnity of the Most Holy Body and Blood of Christ.
Oh yeah, I love that one. So, this is one of those feast days that's been around in the church for like forever, right?
Since the 13th century, I think.
It doesn't sound like forever.
It's a really long time.
That sounds like there were 13 centuries of the church where there wasn't that.
Yeah. So was it forever or not
Math
forever?
is solid.
A very long time.
Okay. All right. So where did it come from?
Well, that's interesting because it actually started because of a nun who had a vision.
You know, all the best devotions begin that way.
Yeah.
You know, think about it. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. The
Divine Mercy.
The Sacred Heart. Apparently, this is the purpose, the little way, this is the purpose of having nuns who appear to be just doing contemplating. They're open to this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas men, we're all busy and whatnot, so we miss out on these things.
Well,
Except for all the Carthusians, but they never communicate it to anybody.
there are monks who had great things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was watching something and they were discussing Brother Lawrence
Yeah.
and about how pretty much every single branch of Christianity likes his book about practicing the presence.
Mm.
But yeah, mostly it's a bunch of nuns who have some vision and they have to constantly bug their, priests and bishops to get it done.
Approve this, approve this, approve this, approve
I'm not
this.
proving that.
Well, again, Jesus talks about the persistent widow. All these apparently higher-ups are just worried that eventually these nuns are going to kill them.
I don't think that's their concern.
That's
Maybe it should be.
That's the judge's concern in Jesus' parable. So,
All right. So seriously.
there's a nun,
So
and she
there's
has
a
a vision.
nun
Yes, her name
in
is
the
Saint Julian.
1300s.
She lives in what is modern-day Belgium.
Oh.
So it's just the French part. So some say that she was Belgium, some say she's French because those lines move back and forth throughout the centuries.
Well, again, Joan of Arc, the great savior of France, wasn't strictly speaking French.
Yeah.
So we tend to project back modern political boundaries, but Belgium's only existed since 1830. So she lived in what is now Belgium, was then probably part of the Holy Roman Empire.
Yeah. Anyway, so back then in the 1300s, any bishop could make a local feast and have it be official.
The 13th century is the 1200s.
Sorry,
Yes,
1200s.
yes.
I know.
It's super confusing.
It's
That was my
timey-wimey.
bad.
Yeah. Anyway, so she kept, well, at first she had the vision and, she kept it to herself because she's like, oh, who am I to get a vision and things,
She had proper humility.
Yeah. Eventually she told her priest and, it got the ball rolling, so it went up to the bishop and...
He probably had to pry it out of her. Like, you really seem like you have something to say. No, I'm not worthy. Are you sure? No. What'd you see? We're supposed to have a feast of Corpus Christi.
Maybe it came up.
Maybe he finally got it to come up during confession, so he's like,
Yeah.
you have to talk to me afterwards about this.
Your penance is you must talk to me later. You can't order me to do that. Okay, you're right. But I advise you to talk to me outside the confessional.
I want to confess the sin of pride. Okay, what exactly have you been doing? Well, I've been receiving. I've been receiving visions, and I somehow think that I'm probably receiving them because I'm completely unworthy of them.
All right, so we veered off quite enough about this. But anyway, eventually it became a local feast in her area from her bishop, who then became Pope Urban IV.
Ah,
That sounds like a pretty good way to promote a devotion.
Yes. And so, as the Pope, he's the one who put it on the universal calendar.
It's good to be Pope.
the Popa.
Popa!
But there's also another important story in this. Because a year before he put it on the calendar for the whole church, there was a priest called Father Peter, who was from Prague, and he was going down to Rome. Now, this was an era where there was a lot of, doubts and questions and stuff. And so he was saying Mass, and he's like, is this really becoming the body and blood of Christ?
I know it's the body and blood, but is it really the body and blood?
Yes. And so as he's, doubting in his heart, but saying all the proper words, being, properly, ordained.
He's validly ordained. He's got the matter. He's got the words. Totally legit sacrament.
Yeah.
He's reasonably properly disposed to it.
He's not in a state of mortal sin. He just has some doubts.
Yes.
Yeah.
The host starts bleeding.
Okay, that's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm. And they actually still have it. It's, of course, in a fancy reliquary.
As we are wont to do.
Yes, but it's still there.
Is it like a glove?
It's not a glove. This is not St. Teresa of
It's
Avila
not
the
an
Infinity Gauntlet.
All right. I'm just saying, some reliquaries are better than others.
Yes. So, this happens. A year later, the Pope makes this feast day.
Okay.
In part because, he knew St. Juliana when she was, the local one. In part because she's the bishop.
So, I know this nun. She had this great vision. This would be a really good thing for the whole church. And as if we needed more confirmation, there's this miracle over here. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Well, this supposed miracle, we're currently investigating it. I imagine investigations back then took quite a while.
Well, on one hand, they didn't have as much science.
That's fair.
When you've got what, by all appearances, is bread that's bleeding, that's to me.
It's not like modern days where there's been some things.
But did they put blood on it, or did the blood come out of it?
I'm saying, I'm sure you could observe it long enough to see, oh crap, there's actually blood coming out of it.
Yes.
Perhaps.
Well, I forget what again, I don't know Latin, but the thing speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he made it the feast day.
Hey!
And he decided,
Again,
what?
It's good to be Pope.
I'm going to get, someone to go and make some, prayers for it. You got to make a mass for it. You got to get the divine office set up for that particular feast day.
We're going to have a feast. It needs some accoutrement. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who could I get?
All the monks are going to have, a particular day of the office that they're going to have to do on that day now.
It's hard to chant if you don't have a script to chant.
Exactly. So it's like, I'll get a Dominican. This guy, Thomas from Aquinas.
They're new. They seem good. Yeah, this guy, Thomas. He comes highly recommended.
Mm-hmm. And so, St. Thomas Aquinas went and composed the Mass in the office for it, including many hymns that we still sing today.
Like
Such as?
I'm bad at Latin.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we know you're bad at Latin. Please, tell us what the names of these hymns are.
So in mercy, I'll take a look at Jess's notes. Tantum ergo. Panis angelicus.
Pangalingua. And salutaris hostia.
These are some pretty well-known songs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if you don't think you know them.
You know them.
If you, Googled it, you would be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, that. Oh, I'm convinced that I don't actually know the Te Deum. Like all these old saints used to sing it. I've listened to it. I swear I've never heard that song in church.
We don't really sing
Another
in
day.
church. It's more in the office.
Another day. So, that is how we got the Feast of Corpus Christi, which actually ranks as a solemnity now, which is awesome.
So what are some of your favorite feasts in the church?
Or your favorite nun who had a vision and therefore made a huge change in the church calendar.
Or your favorite Dominican who was charged with writing the Mass setting in office. And it ended up being
I think that's a list of one.
There are other Dominicans who've done stuff.
Yes, I'm sure there are.
I don't know if they've done that stuff, though.
I'm not saying they've done the best stuff. Maybe their stuff is more or speaks to you more personally.
Yeah. All right,
All right, just name your favorite Dominican. Maybe it's Dominic. Maybe it's Albertus Magnus. Santa Claus loves Albert.
Down below in the comments. Remember to hit that subscribe button on your way down and the bell next to it so you'll get notified when our next episode comes out. And until next time, remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.
Well, that was long and rambly, but...
And ridiculous.
But it only took us 10 minutes to record it. Ish.
That's what editing is for.
So it's a go!
Yay!